Hey everyone, what we have here is a Segway Max 3G, and it has a broken wheel. And we're going to attempt to replace this wheel. Y'all can get a good laugh at me fumbling around trying to change this wheel. As you see, first we're going to pull these rubber plugs and remove the axle, the swing arm guard. All right. Should be a little 3mm screws. It's a 3mm hex drive is what I meant to say. Oop. All right, well, already took off the other side. That's how I know what size it would be. There we go. Now, this wheel is broken. There is a good 2.5 chunk taken out of the side of the rim. It's a victim of one of the nasty potholes we have around here. That was not a fun experience there. I'm going to completely remove the wheel. I'm going to disconnect the wiring as well. That will make it, I know sometimes it's not absolutely necessary to disconnect the cable, but what I would like to do is go ahead and do that. To do that, I'm going to access this panel. 11 screws. And that way I can get the wheel. If I disconnect the wiring, I can get the wheel free and clear to separate the wheel from the motor. There we go. Only dropped one. We'll let the cat play with that screw on the floor. All right. These are the wires for the motor right here. They are secured on the swing arm, which is regular zip ties. And we know how to handle those, right? 1 and 2. Man, those things went flying. More cat toys. All right, well, there we go. They got the cable loose. Now, we're going to need a couple more zip ties removed. There's one. And another. Now this, whoa, what's this? Oh, this wire seems to go into a plug shared by this other cable, but oh, it appears there may be a connector in here. Let's take a look. Very careful. We don't need any blood today. Yeah, there's a little connector in there. Yeah, it should be. We'll see if we can disconnect it here. Oh, this wrap is a little stickier than I thought it would be. There we go. All right. It is disconnected. Yeah. Clean this up a bit. All right. Now there's three more wires. They lead to a terminal panel. They are color coded, as it appears. They are color coded, and they are yellow, brown, and blue. And there should be a, oh yeah, okay, it also has corresponding color printed on the circuit panel. All right. Looks like it's the, and the screws are, again, a 3mm hex drive. Seem to be a little bit longer than the cover screws. There we go. That gives you a better view of the yellow, brown, and blue. All right. Well, we have the electricity disconnected. So we can work on removing the wheel now. Probably don't have to remove the caliper, but I think I will anyway, just to make it more free and clear. Now, these are using a 4mm hex drive. And I believe the wheel, the actual, oh, there we go. Caliper came off a little bit easier than I thought it would. How about that? That's nice. Now what do we got? Now it appears we just have some fairly large nuts to loosen. And it appears there's a gap in the swing arm. So once we get these nuts loosened, I suspect it'll probably just lift right out as an assembly. So let's see what we got. Here's a, looks like a 19mm possibly. No, that's too big. And let's try an 18mm here. There we go, 18mm socket. All right, now I also have a wrench. I'll just hold this other side. And hopefully we can get this broken loose without too much fuss. That's a tight one. Oh yeah. I'm gonna have to run out and get the impact. There we go. All right. Good. On the other side. All right, it's starting to feel, it does feel loose now. Okay. not quite free enough yet. So let's loosen the nut some more. I think I would need to remove them. Oh, we have a free wheel. Okay. We'll move these out the way and make room for our wheel assembly. Okay, I'm just going to move my roll around table. And hopefully we can get a better view. All right. Screws. This is the new wheel that Segway sent me. It is an assembly, and it comes with a new tire pre-mounted, which is pretty nice. For this scooter, this wheel assembly was $43 plus shipping. So in case you're wondering. All right. All right, here's our broken wheel. And also, the new wheel comes with new mounting bolts, and in case you noticed, it does come with a valve cap. How about that? How about that? All right, so we're going to get our 4mm drive, hex drive. There we go. Okay, get that loosened up. There. There. Okay. I believe we're only going to need to loosen the hex drive, which are these 5. These are 4mm hex drive, and there are 5 of them. That should be all we need to do to release the wheel. These are just, I believe, are just for the motor cover, and they are they appear to be a Torx drive, so it's completely different. Okay. Oh, I kind of feel it coming loose. All right, now hopefully we won't have to fight this to get it off the motor. And no, that was fortunately way easier than I thought it might be. All right. Okay, now at this point, set the motor aside. There we go. That pothole took a 2.5 inch chunk out of that wheel. But surprisingly enough, the tire still holds air, which I'm very much surprised. The bead strength of these tires is very impressive. So, well, anyway, I'm certainly glad the new wheel came with a tire just in case there is any hidden damage to the carcass of the tire. There we go. So obviously there is a hole for the valve stem. There we go. And these screws, 5 screws. Great. All right, I'm going to set the gun for a lower setting for the first pass. Okay. Tighten them up across from each other. All right, let's set it up a little bit higher. Okay, now I'm going to manually tighten them without the electric motor to approximately how tight they were when I got to them. Okay. Okay, go around one more time, make sure. That's just the gun clicking. There, good. I think that's tight enough now. I will be checking these screws, these mounting screws, after I put a few miles on the scooter, probably 6 or 10 miles, and manually checking the tightness of them. All right. Well, there we go. Actually, I'm rather surprised that the wheel separated quite easily. And went together well too. All right. Well, let's move our assembly back. Hopefully back approximate to where we were. There we go. All right, let's drop the wheel assembly into the swing arm. All right. All right. Again with the 18 millimeter socket. Tabs are lined up with the slot. Okay. And we're gonna there we go. Now, your scooter may or may not have these manufacturers' paint marks for torque check. Oh shoot, there we go. Sorry about that. Okay, may or may not have these paint marks that align with the nut and the tab. That'll let you know that you've got it tightened back to factory spec. On the other side. All right, good on that side too. All right. While the caliper's off, it's never a good idea to play with the brake lever. You don't want to be doing that. You may pinch the pads together, and you won't be able, possibly might not be able to get the caliper back on smoothly. All right, come on now. All right, there we go. I'm going to run them in and manually tighten them to about the same tension they were. These will be another setup. Also, we'll be checking these bolts after a few miles of driving. All right. Good. check the brake operation. Working good. I'm going to run the wire cable through the rubber grommet here, water resistant, and we're going to reattach the 3 colored wires. And again, they are a 3mm hex drive. Yellow, brown, blue is the order. I will be wanting to be very careful not to over tighten these. Once they stop turning, they're pretty much have enough torque on them. Also, can't see it on the camera with the camera, but they do have little rubber caps that go over the terminals. So I'll put those on. Now we're going to reconnect the final plug. I think I got some tape here. Okay. So, Gorilla tape. So, all right. Double check here. Yeah. Zip ties. Unfortunately, right now all I have is green, but we're not going to see that in here. All right, good, good. And depending how noticeable this is, I'll probably switch these out for black ones later on. Yes. Well, at this point, it's just a matter of reassembling. Got the important part done, so secure the okay, make sure nothing is rubbing against the swim. Good, good. Then we're just going to put the cover back on. It's easy enough. What I think we'll do now is okay. We will check the air pressure in the new rear tire. Now, when you get the new scooter, scooter, the Segway sends along an adapter hose to make this easier to fill the tire. And you know, if anybody watching this has used that adapter hose, knows it is really not fun. It seems as though when you disconnect it, you lose a lot of the air that you just put in, and who knows what the pressure is then. So what we want to do is use something that works a lot better. It's a there we go. Let's see if we can focus on that. Valve stem extenders. All right, now what we can do is temporarily, obviously, put this on. And when I put this on, don't hear any air escaping like you would with the Segway hose. All right. And this will make it easier to connect a inflation device. Here we go. All right. And this is showing that there is a 20 psi in the tire now, and I'm going to run this up to the spec. There we go. The spec, I believe, on the on this tire is 48 psi maximum, and I believe the minimum is 43. So and I don't know, it's not showing up on the camera too well, but I am going to start the filling process. Being a small tire, that shouldn't take too long. There we go. Now when we disconnect, we can just release the lever, and that hardly lost any air at all. So we can pretty confident that we have a good spec on our air pressure. So, and now we'll remove the extension. And I did not hear any air escape at all when I removed this extension. So that, in my opinion, works much better than the hose that comes with the Segway scooter. So, all right, I'll get it buttoned up the rest of the way off camera. Thanks for watching.